I can't say I was surprised. I had the feeling all along that at the end, this thing might break one way or the other, and all the so-called swing states would vote together, because the last 2 or 3, 4% were actually pretty much alike. At least this time, there is no question that he actually won both the popular vote and the Electoral College. You had a case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened. But if they're all properly vetted, and that doesn't happen, and America is not having enough babies to keep our populations up, so we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work, there wouldn't be a problem. And he couldn't keep people all torn up and upset. I don't think it's right to say that people have to vote for Donald Trump because the economy is better there. I don't believe that.
Americans are in love with Donald Trump's transition into the presidency following his election victory, according to a new CBS News and YouGov poll released yesterday. CNN was forced to report on the impressive numbers.
Take a look here. President Trump's transition net approval. You go back to November of 2016. Look at this. It was just at plus 1 point. Just at plus 1 point. That was well below the historical norm. Look at where we are today. Significantly higher. Plus 18 points. That's 17 points higher on the presidential transition net approval rating. The bottom line is this. If 8 years ago Americans were lukewarm on Donald Trump, at this particular point, they're giving him much more the benefit of the doubt. A lot more Americans are in love with this transition. This much more meets the historical norms where normally presidents get that boost coming out of their victory. And what we're seeing here is Donald Trump's presidential transition is getting a thumbs up, and dare I say, 2 thumbs up from the American people.
A majority of voters are also excited and optimistic for the future under Trump.
Again, let's compare ourselves now versus where we were 8 years ago. And what you see 8 years ago, 53% of Americans were scared or concerned, the majority towards the upcoming Trump term. Look at where we are now. The shoe is on the other foot. 53% of Americans are excited or optimistic. It's flip-flop, where a narrow majority 8 years ago were scared or concerned about the upcoming Trump term. Now what we see is that the majority is excited or optimistic about the Trump term. So what we're just seeing is very different numbers from where we were 8 years ago. 8 years ago, folks really were not that in love with the Trump transition. Now they are, and more than that, looking forward to the upcoming Trump term. 8 years ago, the majority were scared or concerned. Now the majority are excited or optimistic.
Online commentators went wild over the fresh polling, with this person saying, "At least CNN is reporting the truth for once." This person agreed, saying, "This is what happens when the radical left overplays their hand for 8 years. Checkmate." And it seems like the mainstream media is finally starting to realize Trump's genius and why he is so popular.
I think Trump is not getting enough credit here for building an ideologically diverse cabinet. When you got everybody from Russ Vought, who's very conservative, all the way over to the pick for labor secretary as a supporter of the PRO Act, and somehow Randy Weingarten is happy about it. I mean, what he has done is, which makes me squeamish, to be candid. And so what he has done, though, is put together an ideologically diverse group of people to sit in a room and help run the government. And that's kind of how he won. His coalition was kind of ideologically diverse that elected him.
But not everyone is ready to let go of the legacy media. Axios CEO Jim Vanderhei lashed out at Elon Musk during an impassioned speech yesterday.
Everything we do is under fire. Elon Musk sits on Twitter every day, or X today, saying like, we are the media, you are the media. My message to Elon Musk is bullshit. You're not the media. You having a blue check mark, a Twitter handle, and 300 words of cleverness doesn't make you a reporter. You don't do that by popping off on Twitter. You don't do that by having an opinion. You do it by doing the hard work.
And the MSNBC panel were quick to applaud him as they struggle to maintain relevance and cling on to survival following Donald Trump's win.
Whoa. First of all, I've got to say, extraordinary content. It needed to be said.
Yeah.
It continues to need to be said. When all of the garbage is flying around on social media, lying about reporters, lying about the hard work they do, lying about the hard work editors do, lying about everything up and down about not only their alternative set of facts, but alternative set of facts about what people like you do. Or if social media, people lying every day, every hour, every minute about the news. What you do matters. What the New York Times does matters. What the Wall Street Journal does matters. What Jonathan Lemire does matters. What the Financial Times does matters. What NBC News and MSNBC reporters do matters. It matters.
But Elon Musk was quick to undermine MSNBC after reports of their financial struggles, leading him to joke about buying the platform by posting a hilarious meme. Joe Rogan added to the joke, saying he would like to take Rachel Maddow's job if Elon Musk buys MSNBC. And Sky News host Paul Murray mocked the desperate response by the mainstream media to the news that Musk may buy MSNBC.
And finally, lefty MSNBC in the United States. You may have heard by now that its parent company Comcast is thinking about, punting it. In fact, they're pulling together all of their cable channels, pushing them off into a separate business and hopefully selling that business off. Guess who might buy it? Old mate Elon Musk is openly talking about the idea of buying the super lefty network just to sack some of these people. I'm sure many would dream to do the same with us, but still, you get the point. As for CNN, unaffected by this scenario, they're worried about the democracy,
Some inside MSNBC are taking Musk's comments seriously, whether he's trolling or not. There is a serious undercurrent to this, and it is the following. In some countries where we've seen democratic backsliding, where some oppositional media outlets have been captured by the government, a process known as media capture, this is exactly what happens. An ally of the leader, like Musk, comes in and buys a media outlet that is viewed as oppositional, and then he turns the content and makes it more friendly to the person in power.
Humpty Dumpty, please. This is the silencing of the media like it's going to be Russia. I'll give you the tip. Just like the Washington Post ended up getting bought by a lefty billionaire, most likely, even if Elon Musk buys MSNBC, a lefty billionaire will start something else. You see, that's the joy of capitalism. Where, unsurprisingly, the stations that stick around for the longest are the ones who are where the mainstream is, not just where the nutbags like that bloke are, who live half their life on Twitter and half their life watching television to talk about it on Twitter.